Hi, Mark Safe here again. In this lesson, we're going to look at the best ways to play your hands when you find yourself sitting on a short stack. Sooner or later, everyone finds themselves stuck with a short stack. Whether it's caused by losing a big hand or just a factor of the blinds increasing, there are points in every tournament where you're going to have to risk your life in order to survive. The key is to recognize these situations and to play your short stack to its maximum advantage. Before we discuss the best way to play a short stack, let's define what a short stack is. In general, anything less than 20 big blinds can be considered a short stack, but many players don't begin to feel desperate until their stacks fall below 15 big blinds. For the purposes of our discussion, we're going to say we've let our stack fall dangerously low all the way down to 12 big blinds. The advantage of having such a small stack, though, is that your choices are very simple. You're either going to fold your hand before the flop or push your entire stack into the middle. There's absolutely no middle ground here. That means your decision to move all in will be based on three factors. Number one, your starting hand. Two, your position. And three, the preceding action. With a stack of 12 big blinds or less, you have very little fold equity, which means that it will be very difficult, if not impossible, to push your opponents off of hands like ace-king, ace-queen, or even a medium pocket pair. This means you want to get your chips into the middle when you think you're holding the best hand at the table or are, at worst, racing. Say you have 12 big blinds and you limp into the pot with pocket jacks. What happens if the flop comes ace, king, or queen high? With just 9 big blinds left in your stack and at least 7 big blinds in the pot, folding is a bad option. But pushing your whole stack into the middle here doesn't feel comfortable either. Now let's see what advantages we gain by moving all in with our pocket jacks pre-flop. The first advantage we have here is that we may get players with marginal hands, say ace-10, to fold. The advantage here, and something that is not widely known, is that a hand containing any ace, even a hand like ace-6, is only about a 2-to-1 dog to a big pocket pair like pocket queens or pocket kings. That's right. The second advantage we have here is that once we move in, we no longer have to worry about making any kind of tough decision after the flop. Chances are our hand was best when the money went into the middle, which means we made the best possible decision before the flop. So if we get outflopped by an opponent, so be it. That said, there are some other factors to consider before we decide to put our chips at risk. First, we have to look at our position at the table. Even with a premium hand, it is always better to move all in if the action is folded to you. With a large number of players left to act behind you, you want to be holding a much stronger hand than if you're moving all in from late position because you want to make it expensive for your opponents to risk their chips with a random hand. On the other hand, you need to be much more cautious about moving all in, even with a premium hand, if there has been any kind of action in front of you. For example, if you have 12 big blinds left and are holding ace-10 suited in middle position and a player in front of you makes a standard 3x raise, and then another player moves all in, your ace-10 now looks very weak and you need to look for another spot to get your money in. While this doesn't mean you're going to consider laying down aces or kings, you need to realize that even if just one player has limped into the pot or raised in front of you, the money they've put in the pot gives your opponents better odds to call your all-in with a greater variety of hands. Shoving a short stack can be an optimal play, but you need to make sure not to forget these three factors before tossing your chips in.